In this video, we will cover the addition of integers that have the same or like signs. We can use the number line here to explain addition of integers. For example, to find 2 plus 4, we begin at 0 here. So this is where you will begin. And draw an arrow 2 units along the points to the right. So 2 units to this direction. So you began here. It represents positive 2. This is your 2. From the tip of that arrow, which is this one here, we draw a second arrow 4 units long that points to the right. It represents the positive 4. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where it ends. Since we end up at 6, it follows that 2 plus 4 equals 6. To check our work, let's think of the problem in terms of money. If you had, let's put this the same values. If you had $2, and earned, let's say, earned plus $4, you would have a total of $6. So this is the addition of integers with like signs. 2 plus 4 equals 6, and we can use our number line by going towards our right since they are positive. Let's consider our next scenario. To find on a number line, we begin at 0, and we're going to go to our next example. This next example is as follows. We're going to have a negative 2 plus a negative 4. Very important that you put your brackets. Okay? So again, a number line. To find on a number line, we begin at 0. Very important. I'm going to be using red where you begin. So you begin from here. And since it is negative, you will go to the left. You go 2 units to the left, which is then here. From the tip of that arrow, we draw a second arrow 4 units long. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it ends. And so we ended up with negative 6. Now let's think of this in money wise. Consider that you lost $2. So there's a $2 loss, and then you lost another $4. Then you would have lost a total of $6. So from the first problem and the second problem, we can gather some observations about the process of adding two numbers that have the same sign on a number line. The arrows representing the integers point in the same direction, and they build upon each other. The answer has the same sign as the integers that we looked. These observations illustrate the following rules. 2 rules, very important. It states to add 2 integers and them as usual, being once they're positive, the final answer will be positive. To add 2 negative integers, add their absolute values and make their final answer negative. Recommendations. When writing addition that involves integers, write negative integers within parentheses to separate the negative sign from the plus sign. Let me show the example. If I have 6 plus negative 3, this is good way of writing. But if I write 6 plus negative 3, this is not good. Okay, so let's try a few examples in working the rules of adding integers with like signs. 3 examples we're going to be taking. We're going to have a negative 4 plus a negative 6, open close bracket, b negative 24 plus a negative 50, open close bracket, and c negative 500 plus negative 200. Is there a strategy how to work out these problems? Yes. We will be using the rule for adding two integers that have the same sign. In each of these examples, we're going to be adding two negative integers. As you can see, they're all negative. So, solution. Let's take the first one. Solution, under 1, 2, 3 steps. So we're going to have a negative 4 plus negative 6. What is the solution? Well, let's understand what's happening in this problem. Let me expand the screen a little bit more. And so we say to add two negative integers, we add the absolute values of the integers. Well, let's find the absolute values first of all. So the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. And the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. Okay? And make the final answer negative once we add the two absolute values. So add your absolute values 4 and 6 to get 10. So we do that. 4 and 6, that gives us 10. And then make the final answer negative. That's your first solution. Okay? Let's go to the second example now. B, it says negative 24 plus negative 50. What's the answer? First thing we need to do is to make their absolute values. So we get the absolute value of negative 24 is 24, and the absolute value of negative 50 is 50. Add their absolute values, 24 plus 50, which gives us 74, and then make their final answer negative. Very simple. We go to our third problem. Third problem reads as follows. Negative 500 plus negative 200. Note that I'm using brackets when I put a negative here beside this operation. So how do we do this again? Since they are like signs, we will make the absolute values of the negatives. So we say the absolute value of negative 500 is 500, and the absolute value of negative 200 is 200. We make those. Now add their absolute values, 500 plus 200, which gives us 700, and then make their answer negative. That is adding integers which are like signs. In this case, they were all negative. A very successful tip in succeeding here is for your calculation is to perform. If you cannot perform it in your head, then you should do the steps outside of your solution. For example, here I could have done our addition, and this would have been 0, 0, 7, and then make it negative. That is how we work this.